hello, and welcome to the Bucket Talk Baseball Podcast. My name is Christian Bond, as always, joined by Jackson Kahn. Jackson, how are you doing today?
I'm bewildered right now. This has been a whirlwind of 4 days since we had our last podcast, and my whole entire world's been flipped upside down in Mariners fashion.
You had to preface that with Mariners fashion. I was I was a little worried for what's going on in other places. I was like, do we need to stop this and talk about something else? Like, what happened?
I did that on purpose, just to see what you were doing.
You got me.
Yeah.
You got me. No, it has been kind of a wild week. I turned in my final project yesterday.
You feel like a weight's been lifted?
It was kind of a weird thing because, like, obviously reached all the requirements as far as the logistics of that paper, but there was little guidance throughout the process, and I'm going to put that on myself. I did not go out and seek the help of others, but I kind of was questioning myself when I turned that thing in. I was like, well, I think this is what they want, and then kept moving forward. But it does feel good to be done with it, but I'm just now in the waiting process.
You'll do fine.
I think I will too. It's just that thought process of I should have asked more questions along the way. And this is just my fault, so I know who's to blame here, and that's me, so ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it has been a busy week, especially with the Mariners, and they've been at home, so I've been able to watch most of their games.
Yeah.
And I guess the biggest news, obviously, is that Ichiro Suzuki is no longer a player for the Mariners. He has transitioned into, what are they calling it, a front office role?
ESPN reports it's a front office position.
Okay. Want to lead with, he's not calling this his retirement.
Yeah, he was very adamant that this was not his retirement, that he will be playing until has to be on a like walking with a walking stick. Yeah,
I mean, he every time he says that he wants to play until he's 50, meaning Ichiro, every time he says that, everyone laughs. And he doesn't. Like, stone cold, straight face.
100%.
I'm playing till I'm 50, which is wild. And, you know, it kind of thought that it was going to have to come down to something like this with Heredia. We talked about being a little bit better than he is right now, and not even a little, but a lot of it better than Ichiro is right now. But it's weird. It's weird for someone who was as great for the Mariners. Granted, when they were really bad.
Yeah.
When they were really, really bad.
Most of his career, they were his first year. They were good.
We'll call it his first 3 years because they won those 116 games in 2001 with the Mariners. But then after that, they won 93 games in 2003, I think, right?
Yeah. So
I'm not sure on 02, but they won 93 games and they finished second in the division.
Yeah. So they were good for a couple of years, but then yes, they did tank.
The wheels fell off, and you know everyone knew that Guillermo was playing better than. We talked about it earlier this week that Guillermo Heredia was playing better than Ichiro, but people were just angry, just mad that he was still on this team. And it's like, that's legitimately and easily one of the top 5 best players to ever play for the Mariners.
For sure.
Right, and instead of being, you know, happily waving goodbye because this is the twilight of his career, even though he's not retired, this is near the end. Instead of saying, man, thanks for making baseball, at least one part of the baseball team, watchable through the 2000s. All of them.
Yeah.
Because they were terrible, right? Instead of that, people were like, get this grandfather off the baseball field. They were mad, as you could tell. So it was a little upsetting to me that was the attitude towards it. Not playing a major role on this team, a guy that hangs out and you see twice a week, and we're still just angry.
Yeah.
That he's there. It makes no sense. To me, it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Well, I'm on the other side. I want him off the team just because it's you want the 25 best options for the team on the roster at all times. So just having Ichiro there, who's not as good as an option that you have, not even on the roster, I found as a big problem. So I'm happy, but I'm also, on the other hand, like a little sad that this is, like, I knew it was going to happen. I didn't want it to happen, but I knew it's got to be the best for the Mariners.
It said that, I'm trying to find this exactly, But this new role that Ichiro Suzuki is in with the Mariners sounds like he will... I've seen one report that said that he will advise the team on outfield play, base running, and hitting.
Yeah, so here I've found it.
Okay.
With the Times. Now this, I had no idea that this was the case. I thought front office position, he'd be sitting up in the box, hanging out with the team like in a suit and tie before the game.
Sure.
Maybe showing up in pregame, working with some outfielders and like doing that. But he'll actually, this is from the Times, from the Seattle Times. Ichiro will do everything like he's done as a player, except actually being eligible to play in games. Travel with the team in uniform pregame, participate in the pregame workouts, batting practice. So if you show up early to the game, you have a chance to catch an Ichiro ball over the fence.
Yeah, he's doing everything he did. Mm-hmm. He just can't be in
the dugout. Once the game starts, he'll be in the back or
in the clubhouse. Yeah, right. He'll just be hanging out underneath.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
It is. It is a little funky. It's kind of like. Did you have like an older gentleman that was a fan of your high school that would be hanging out all the time around the team?
We'll call it a super fan. He wasn't necessarily older, but he was at a lot of the things at his association.
Yeah, when I coached at Foss, we had a super fan. He was a dad from a player in like the early 2000s, like 2002.
Sure.
And he's since hung around and helped out, which is super nice, but it's just kind of like it's that, but then he would also like he didn't take batting practice. He just hung out and helped out, but he didn't take batting practice. So,
do you believe? The first run of Ichiro in Seattle ended. There were things that he did that made people close to the situation not happy with him.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing is knowing English but not necessarily using it.
Yeah,
I think that it irked people.
It wasn't Griffey exactly. It was like Griffey was a Major Richard when he left both times, but he wasn't quite on that level. But he was. You could tell that he was not. There was friction in the clubhouse. Wasn't getting along with the higher ups, and it was just time for him to head on out.
So with that in mind, do you believe now that the line that Jerry Dipoto, general manager for the Seattle Mariners, is feeding that he is such a positive influence with the guys now? Because remember, the Mariners are relatively young.
Yeah.
Mitch Haniger's a new major league player. Ben Gamble's a new major league player. Ichiro spent the last 3 years in Miami with D. Gordon.
Yeah, dude.
These boys. They're boys, right? Do you feed the line that he is such a positive influence on those people that he needs to continue to be a part of the team until 7:10 when the game starts?
I guess so. He has to be.
I don't know.
And Ichiro is saying that he seems happy. He's saying that he enjoys transferring into this role, at least for, I'm assuming, the rest of the year or until another team, quote unquote, trades for him or picks him up.
That?
I don't know how that works. I don't know if that works. I think it
would be like trading for a coach.
I'm assuming what happens is he is still, like, if he was to come out of quote unquote retirement, this must be a quote unquote retirement, but
it's not.
But it's not. He says it's not. But I think you have to structure it with, like, within contracts and stuff, that it is retirement, so that if he does come back to play, he would be as a Mariner until the end of the year. You know what I mean? So I think that's got to be how contractually that works, because if you were to step away from baseball, like about when Alex Rodriguez stepped away, if he was to come back, he would have to come back as a Yankee.
Right.
So I think that's how it works.
Well, we've seen it in football with Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Who legitimately retired but didn't fill out the paperwork and then wanted to come back, and the Seahawks, did they trade him? I don't even remember. They cut him? I don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
But he had to come back as a Seahawk before he was able to become a Raider.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing. Is it like a pre-retirement thing where he hasn't filled out the paperwork to be a retired Major League Baseball player yet? I mean,
that's got to be that has to be similar to the Marshawn Lynch situation.
The real reason why it's not a retirement, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is why it's not a retirement. In 2019, the Seattle Mariners opened their season in Japan. That will most likely be the last time you see Ichiro in a Mariner uniform for those 2 games against the Oakland Athletics at the beginning of the 2019 season in Japan.
Yeah, that could definitely. And even if, let's say, next year he goes and plays film like spot role in Milwaukee or fill in the blank place, and I think that the Mariners would trade a bucket of balls for him, and just to get him for those 2 games, because that I wouldn't. It's like that I wouldn't be too broken up about, because there's not a whole lot of guys that has that much impact in their home country, and because that's not super represented in baseball.
Right.
So I do think that's definitely going to be an option down the road.
That's got to be what the case is. I think he'll play those last 2 games in Japan and call it a career.
Yeah.
And he has to.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That has to be what happens.
Do you have a favorite kind of Ichiro memory, or is it? Because to be honest, mine's, was I paying the most attention to the Mariners when they were not very good, and I was, 10, 11, 12 years old?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. But, there's definitely those handful of plays that stick out tremendously. The throw from right field to third base.
Something out of Star Wars?
Yes. Yeah. That throw in Oakland, I believe it was, right?
No, it was home. It was a home game.
It was probably like 30 of them. I'm thinking of the one in Oakland where he threw it to third base.
Oh, no, I thought that was a home game.
I'll bet you $1 it wasn't.
I don't want to lose $1 because I'm not 100% confident now.
I said.
Now
he's going to look it up.
I'm going to pull it up.
Now he's going to look it up. It was that's the thing, though. He could have had one at home, too. He could have had 30 at home.
Yeah.
He could have had 30 in Oakland. I mean, he was a superstar.
I put Ichiro and then something, and then it popped up right when I put the S and something. So let's see here. It's loading. PLU internet.
Ichiro something.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Ichiro something out of Star Wars, because that's the Niehaus call.
Yeah. Oakland. That's an Oakland thing. Because it was relatively new. It was in that first season.
It's in...
And no one knew that they couldn't run to any base other than the one they were initially going to against Ichiro.
Yeah.
And that was when everyone learned,
Pulling up on YouTube. Okay, audio's off, so it won't
there you go.
blast the... But while it's loading, Ichiro, I just saw, Ichiro is 44 right now. So in 2019, 45.
46?
46? I think 46.
45 when he plays those 2 games in Japan. It says, see you later.
Yeah. That's up there, Jamie Moyer.
Jamie Moyer, yeah.
All right, I got to wait for this. Dunkin' Donuts. Shout out Dunkin' Donuts. Sponsor us, please. Dunkin' Donuts advertisement to pass so I can look. But anyway, so he has to have... Oh, dang, it's looking like Oakland. Yeah, it's
totally
Oakland. Darn it. It's Oakland. All right.
But that throw, I mean, the walk-off home run, I don't know what year it was against Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
Boat versus boat, goat versus goat, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And Ichiro won that night. I mean, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember Ichiro hitting a walk-off home run, one of the first Mariner games I ever went to. Ichiro hitting a walk-off home run. We were so high up that we were behind home plate. Our backs were against the glass.
There you go.
In Safeco.
The very last seats you can have.
Yep. Probably if not the most expensive. That is the complete opposite. The least expensive seats you could possibly have in Safeco, and everybody was jumping up and down. And I think I might have already told this story on air that I wasn't jumping up and down because I was standing the whole game because I couldn't see over the people's head in front of me. So I remember that play, and then I also love the times when he would roll over to the second baseman in times of need, but then hit a single to the left fielder in the fourth inning.
Are you an Ichiro hater?
Oh, I hated him for the longest time. But for the longest time,
he was the only good player on the team, and you had to hate on him.
I had to because he would roll over in times of need with a runner on third, and they're down by 1. But he'd flip the ball over the shortstop's head.
I'm sure you loved Jose Lopez, though, right? Big Jose Lopez guy.
I hated most of those teams.
Here's the thing about Ichiro: most of those teams awful, like we've talked about.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum now at this point. People never stopped coming to Safeco Field.
No.
For the entire time that Ichiro was a part of the club, they averaged 2 million people a year.
Yeah. It wasn't like it is in Oakland or...
Nobody stops coming.
Yeah.
So who's...
Yeah. He is a superstar. He transcends... Yeah. He's one of those guys that transcends sports.
If you have a favorite Ichiro moment, please let us know in the comment section. Tell us, I loved when Ichiro did this, that, or the other. Or, you know what? I was never a big Ichiro fan. That's fine. Just let us know down there in the comments.
Yeah.
On the Half Athlete Radio YouTube page. Final thoughts on Ichiro?
Well, there's one thing that I'm looking at right now. There's one person who's the most. I don't know if he's the most, other than like the Ichiro gal who's out in Brightfield, the Ichimeter gal. This person is really upset that Ichiro isn't playing, and that would be Shohei Ohtani.
Oh,
right before
yeah,
the Mariners play the Angels this weekend.
Yeah, he would have. There's no. I mean, current Ichiro right now versus current Ohtani, who's also, you know, Ichiro could be Ohtani's dad. He could be anyone who is 20-ish. He could be their dad reasonably. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, no, it's yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been.
I mean, it would have been interesting.
Yeah, I think Ichiro would. I think Ichiro would still have it in him to turn it on and have a deep at bat and really like flash back. Yeah. But it's something that I don't know if we'll ever get to see.
Probably not.
Most likely not.
No.
But
no. So appreciate Ichiro for being the greatest. Try your best to not associate him with how bad the team was during that time. I think that's ultimately the root of this Ichiro hate is, he is the face of awful Mariners baseball, and I think that's why people are the most upset that he was around.
Yeah.
It's not that Guillermo was playing better than him. It's not that. It's not that. You cannot disassociate Ichiro with bad baseball. Yeah, that's the problem people can't get over.
Well, also, but Guillermo did have better numbers. We went over that. He does have better numbers.
That's part of it, but I don't think it's the whole reason.
No, it's not the whole reason.
Right.
Anyways,
let's move forward.
Let's talk about.
That's another 20 minutes on Ichiro. Back to back. People are going to stop listening to this stuff. We keep spending hours.
We're talking about what everybody else wants to.
They want to hear it. Yeah. They want to hear it. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the rest of the week after that. Felix Hernandez was pretty strong in his start this week against Oakland.
Yeah, it seemed out of nowhere.
A little bit. I think he's got to do this for another month, where he is solid in his new form, his rejuvenated, learning how to be a pitcher that can't just blow people away. And this throwing 92-ish with a good curveball and a good changeup and getting outs, getting the ground out, getting the fly out, finishing, a solid outing with 4 strikeouts as opposed to 12. I mean, that's what he is right now.
Yeah.
And I think he's shown pretty good signs of accepting that and being a new pitcher out there on the mound. But for me, he's got to do it for one more month. Your thoughts on Felix Hernandez early and throughout this season, I guess we'll call it.
He's playing better as of late. He's kind of settling into the role that I was hoping he would, which is, like we're saying, not as many strikeouts, getting outs while he can, missing bats, but not with overpowering stuff. So this is exactly what I was hoping, and he just needs to repeat it. He needs to just prove that he can continually do that on a day-to-day or a start-to-start basis.
The conversation I would like to have with you is about, conventional baseball wisdom. And I think Felix Hernandez had gotten through, 6 innings and had given up just 1 earned run, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, I guess, on the night. So, like we said, he's not striking that many guys out. Well, that's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
He gave up 1 home run. That was the only earned run to that point. And they ran him back out there for the 7th inning. He lets a couple runners on. They come in to score, so he finishes the night with 3 earned runs against him. Jackson, in my head, with people talking about high leverage innings and how you want to try and limit those and just get guys their work and get through clean innings, why do they need to, or do they feel the need to, run Felix Hernandez back out on the mound after he's put in a strong 6-inning performance and say, hey, go see what you can do, as opposed to, what they did. They, after those 2 runners got on, they bring in Nick Vincent, they bring in Juan Nicasio, they bring in Diaz. Instead of bringing Vincent in with 2 runners on base, how about you just go to Vincent to start out the 7th inning? Why?
I think that Service wants Felix to go 7.
Sure.
Most of his starters go 7, so it's easy reliever to finish off the game. But with Felix, I also think that he himself wants to go 7 because that's what he's always done. might actually go 8 and just go straight to the closer. But I think he's a 6-inning guy. I think that's solid for Felix.
That's what he is. Yeah, I mean, you would take 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. You would take that all day long.
Yep.
But instead, he goes out there and then gives a tough situation to the next guy, as opposed to letting the next guy have a clean inning to work with.
Yeah, the bullpen's been solid. Nothing that's like they're not imploding every time.
Right.
So there's no. It's not like previous years where Felix has had to go 9 because that's what they have. Like, go get us 9 tonight because we need you to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only reason I bring it up is because I saw them do this with him the first time he faced Oakland on that Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Solid 6 innings of work, and then ran out there for the 7th, 2 runners on, and the bullpen again locked it down that day. But I mean, to me, there's no need. Be happy with your 6 innings, be happy with that performance, and move on to the next guy and give him a clean slate to work with. That's the way that I think.
Yeah, I think especially with Felix, that'd be the way to go.
So let's move forward and talk about legitimately one of the most historic performances baseball has seen. James Paxton going 7 innings and striking out 16 batters, and you're already starting to grin.
Yeah, I was super excited when this happened. I was happy.
Huge James Paxton guy is Jackson Kahn.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts, my friend?
That's an ace. That's an ace. That is a dominant performance. That is like that's Chris Sale-esque, like I've been saying for years that he can be. That's exactly what he showed. Like that's what you need. And he went 7 innings. That's fantastic. He not only did he strike out the infield and the outfield, everybody didn't have to move 16 times.
Hardly ever, yeah.
Other than Seager to catch the ball and throw it around.
21 outs, 16 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Only one walk on the night, which is not the more impressive number, but it shouldn't be overlooked at the same sentence. My favorite number, 105 pitches, 80 strikes.
Oh, that's in the zone.
80.
That's just so good.
No one does that. Nobody does that.
Yeah, that's where he's been having a problem, is being more 50-50 on balls and strikes.
Being more efficient.
Yeah.
Straight up just more efficient, and, just a crazy good game. I mean, there was no secrets about what he was doing either.
Nope.
Fastball. I mean, there was one strikeout against Marcus Semien, one of the 16.
Yeah.
It was 3 fastballs at the belt.
It's just good hit it.
Doink, 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 and it was over. Crazy how good he was that night. But the team lost 3-2.
Yeah, that's just, that hurts. It hurts.
I mean, you said it. He's the ace, and that's stereotypical.
That is very
Mariner ace to go out there and pitch really well.
But I personally think that it's a bringing in your closer and not a save situation problem.
Jackson, don't make it about that. Are you going to make it about that?
That's what happened. So
Edwin Diaz comes on and gives up essentially the game-winning home run.
Yeah.
In a non-save situation. Go ahead, defend this.
Okay, so
this notion, because you're wrong.
So my thing is bring the closer in a save situation only, because that's what separates the closers from other relievers. It's a much different animal. Their adrenaline's pumping. When you bring, I think of AJ Konopowski, former PLU Loot here. Played with him here at PLU my first year, and he would be 3-4 miles an hour harder in a save situation than just needing to come in for a hold, or unless it was a big game situation, like having a chance to go play in nationals or have a chance to go play in the regional tournament, and brought him in a hold situation. That's different than middle of or beginning of May, end of April, whatever game against Oakland. That there was adrenaline. Adrenaline's not pumping. That's different stuff that they're bringing out to the mound. Even audible sigh into the mic. Yeah. Your closer is your bullpen's ace, correct?
That's the best pitcher you have out there. Even in that situation. Going into the bottom half of the ninth inning tied as opposed to being down 1 run. You still need that hold, correct? So you do not want to use your best pitcher in your biggest spots if your team's not up. That's essentially what you're saying?
Yeah.
I can't get behind that.
Unless the adrenaline's pumping, because the adrenaline has to be pumping.
How's the adrenaline not pumping? Like, you need to get those 3 outs to give your chance a team to walk this thing off.
As a player, it's like it's the end of April, beginning of May. Who cares? Game, and it's against Oakland. It's not like you're like, oh, this is my chance to blow 3 by Aaron Judge. We're playing the Yankees this weekend, and I'm going to dominate him. It's who knows Jed Lowry and Davis. Like, it's just like whoever guys. So it's not the adrenaline pumping, I need to bring my best stuff right now kind of thing, because they're going to roll me out the next save opportunity when it's going to pad my stats and be where I make my money.
Is a strikeout a stat? Can you get that in a non-save situation? You can go out there and help your stats, Jackson.
No, nobody talks about Mariano Rivera or Trevor Hoffman's strikeouts. They talk about them in games that matter in the postseason, but they don't talk about it in the beginning of May, end of April.
We just talked about Mariano Rivera getting beat in the middle of whatever because we know the Mariners were in the postseason.
But was any of the Oakland Athletics on that team right now going to be the greatest at their position? Is any of them? Ichiro, you could debatably say that he's the greatest right fielder to walk on a major league field. It's up in the air. That could be a possibility.
You give those Matts some time, we'll see. Matt Olson, Matt Chapman over there in the corners. We'll see. We'll talk. No, dude, you got to use your best pitcher in the biggest spots, and that's the biggest spot of the game. You got to get to that ninth inning to give yourself a chance to walk this thing off and win the game. You are, you're hurt if you do, you're hurt if you don't, right? Because if Nick Vincent goes out there and gives up that home run, then people are mad at Nick Vincent.
Yeah, but
if Chase and Bradford goes out there and gives up that home run, they're like, well, why didn't they use Diaz? But now they use Diaz and he gives up the home run, and now it's, shouldn't he use Diaz?
Yeah.
You have to use your best pitchers in your best spots. And that's what they did. I'm looking at it right now. Nicasio and Diaz. Those are 2 best bullpen arms right now. They used both of those people.
I disagree. I don't disagree they're the 2 best bullpen guys. Disagree that's the spot, because that also could easily shake Diaz, who, I just gave up a home run, shake the confidence, not be the dude. So far, so good since then, but
settle the debate in the comments below. Do you use Edwin Diaz, your bullpen ace, in the biggest situations, or if it's not a save, do you just let him watch the game and use him the next night when it is a save? Let us know, because Jackson and I can sit here and argue about this for the next 6.5 hours until I get mad at Jackson for being able to stay consistently arguing with me, because I'll give up. I'll bow out before he does. He's a very good arguer.
Yep, I'm not gonna bow. That's one of the firm beliefs.
He just doesn't bow out.
Nope, not with that.
I get tired of it over a period of time. So you have to help us in the comments. You have to tell us: would you use Edwin Diaz in a non-save, or would you not? Would you wait?
But don't forget James Paxton, 16 strikeouts, 105 pitches.
That's right.
7 innings.
That's what we started talking about.
Happiness, happy things.
Yes.
Happy thoughts.
James Paxton. He did really good, but they lost.
Yep.
And then last night's game is something that I wanted to talk about with you.
Yeah.
I think it was Erasmo Ramirez that went to the DO with some sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't.
Yeah,
he gave up 5 solo shots against the Indians. I don't have to see him again for a while.
I'm full.
So Wade the White got the start last night and went 4 innings. Gave up just 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. 4 innings, not a typical starter's numbers. And then Chase and Bradford came in. He picked up the win in the ballgame because the Mariners did go on to win 4-1. He picked up the win after going 2 1/3 innings of 1 hit baseball, 2 strikeouts. Of course, that 1 run was, I think, a home run on the first pitch he threw. Actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, Piscotty got him for a big-time, big fly. But this is a conversation we've had before of, Wade LeBlanc, Chase and Bradford, pretty average dudes.
Yeah.
Pretty average big league pitchers, and they got you into the 7th inning like everyone loves to talk about. Took 2 guys to do it, but you got there giving up only 1 run. That's the future of baseball. That's what it's going to be.
We've talked about this before. This is like the only other thing that I could debate with you till the end of time.
You're telling me in 4 days these two couldn't do that again? You shorten the rest. You shorten the innings. You get guys through. You get two guys to get as deep into the game as you want, and they could have gone two relievers and called it a night. They didn't.
You can't maintain it over a 162 game season. These guys' bodies aren't. They can't handle that much time rolling it out. Like they need
the same
the time,
amount of innings,
but they need the time to rest. They can't. They can't.
It's the same innings on fewer pitches.
But you can't guarantee fewer pitches, so you can't guarantee.
But you can assume.
You can
that if they're throwing,
that gets you in trouble though. That gets you into trouble though.
I get that it gets you into trouble, but why is this such a tough thing for you to imagine? Where Ariel Miranda and Andrew Moore are going out there and getting you into the 7th inning, or Felix Hernandez and whoever you want are getting you into the 7th inning. James Paxton or Erasmo Ramirez getting you into that 7th inning.
Well, because Erasmo Ramirez has a chance to give up 5 shots on 5 pitches. And James Paxton's all for naught. But anyways, we're not going to debate this again.
So does James Paxton. Just because he struck out 16 the other night doesn't mean anything. He's done it one time.
You need to tell me that you'd rather have Erasmo Ramirez pitching than James Paxton on any night?
No.
Exactly. So you'd want to roll out James Paxton for as long as possible to ensure that...
Sure, then go back to that other night. Then why didn't they run him out there? He was at 105 pitches. Why didn't they run him out there for the 8th?
Because it's 105 pitches.
Got to make his next start, right?
Yeah, because you have to...
So, if he goes 4 innings?
But
come on.
No. But their bodies aren't built for this sort of repetition. We if you want to listen to this debate, we had this debate. Was this episode 2?
Any episode really. I think I don't see this as a problem. I see this as an effective night of baseball in Safeco Field with the Mariners getting a 4-1 win, using 2 regular guys to go out there and get you into the 7th inning. That's what I saw.
And I see it as a Band-Aid while a guy's hurt to just get you through a start.
Well, why'd they do it this way then? I mean, they could have called up Ariel Miranda.
Because Ariel Miranda is Erasmo Ramirez 2.0. And
Rihanna Salinas is back.
Yeah, it was Erasmo Ramirez 3.0.
Sure. But, I mean, so like we said, instead of going with that, they went with 2 guys to get you deep into the game. It makes all the sense in the world. How many pitches for both these guys? Let's figure this out. I don't know where it is. I can't figure it out.
None of my pages are loading anymore. So
you're out of luck because I'm looking at a pretty sweet box score with 2 pitchers getting the job done instead of just 1. That's right, boy. It's been a pretty pitcher-heavy episode.
It has.
Apart from the love we gave Ichiro for the 2nd day this week.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the offense? Ryan Healy's the man. Go Ryan Healy.
Mitch Haniger's the man. Go
Ryan
Mitch Haniger. It's just, the offense is so good. Buffalo Wild Wings last night to watch the game.
Oh, look at you, styling and profiling.
Yep. First time out there in a while. So
liar.
No, 100%. It's been a month or 2 since I went to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's becoming a few and farther between stop.
That's what happens when life gets busy.
Yeah, and plus my body appreciates a little bit less Buffalo Wild Wings. So, but anyways, so I every time I would look down to grab a bite to eat, I'd look up and there was another run on the board. That's how quickly they were scoring in that 3rd inning.
Yeah,
that was good. That's exactly what you want. Infield base hit, or just a little flip over the infielders for D. Gordon, a bunt, or a sac fly after a steal by D. Gordon, and now runner on 3rd, and you have one of the best hitters in the last 10 years just to find a hole, and there's a run.
It's a 4-1 win last night for the Mariners against the Athletics. They went 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. That's all it took.
Yeah.
That's it. Got the job done. Yeah, not much to say about the offense because it's so consistently good. I guess the best thing you can say about the offense is that James Paxton night where he struck out 16 batters and they only scored 2 runs. That's been the outlier.
Yeah.
Instead of the norm.
Yeah.
It's been the norm in years past. I think it's why it doesn't sting as much. Of course, you want to have that win. You want to have all of the wins that you can have. But because that's not what this team does, you kind of look at it and go, okay.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that it did, but that's just part of baseball.
Yeah. They did make a little bit of a lineup change with the left-handed pitchers on the mound. Haniger has batted 5th. instead of Seager.
Yeah.
Switch those two around. What do you think about that? Do you make anything of that?
No, Haneker's a better bat right now. Seager's usually off to a slow start. He's a better start this year than previous years. So it's just kind of... And dropping Seager deeper in the lineup could affect his confidence. But
I think it's only because of the lefty.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's just like... You kind of forget Seager because he's been the same for so long and done. He's just solid, that putting a hot bat towards the top of the lineup against a better split is what's needed on that day. So whatever gets the job done.
I probably wouldn't touch it. I don't think I would. I think I would let him stay at 5 because of the right left thing.
Yeah.
It puts two righties in the middle, and then the bottom of this order from last night is Healy, Zunino, Heredia, right. And yeah, I'd probably I would have left it just because it's such a nice... It's so nice that they can do that. Go right, left, all the way down the order.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. It's interesting. They're a pretty solid club through the first month and a week.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good. It's tight up top of the AL West. A game and a half is the difference between three teams, the Astros, the Mariners, and the Angels, who the Mariners face this weekend. So they're contending with some good teams.
This weekend's going to be fun, I think. I think every time the Angels are going to come to town, or Seattle's going to go to Los Angeles to play the Angels, it's going to be a very intense 3 or 4 games at a time.
Yeah,
I think there's bad blood between both sides. It's a legit rivalry.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a Yankees-Red Sox, but it feels kind of like a Toronto-Texas Rangers. That's what it kind of feels like. Maybe not quite the throwing hooks at each other, but it's these teams are going to go all out against each other every time they play.
I completely forgot Toronto and Texas had a rivalry until you mentioned the hooks. And then I remembered Rougned Odor blasting Jose Bautista in the face. Then, I guess they do.
Yeah.
No, it stems from the bad blood with Jerry Dipoto and Mike Scioscia. They hate each other. Well, Jerry Dipoto literally quit his job over Mike Scioscia.
Yeah.
He was the GM there, packed up his office and said, I got to go. Bye.
Here, keep Albert Pujols for forever. Good luck signing young guys.
Yeah. Yeah, but they did.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. That money doesn't count.
Sure, but they took the guy. I mean, that adds a layer to this, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got your GM who quit because of the other team's manager, and then the other team's able to land what would have been the biggest acquisition of Jerry Poto's Seattle Mariner career by far. I don't think he probably would have had a better one.
I mean, D. Gordon event long-term. D. Gordon?
Long-term, Shohei Ohtani's an Angel for the next 6 years at minimum before he can make legitimate money.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani's the best pickup he could have had, and the other team took him.
A coin flip between the two.
It's not even close.
It is. I think it's a coin flip because it's Shohei Ohtani's hasn't been a proven all-star.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's a proven all-star.
He could end up being a proven all-star at 2 different positions, at 2 different sides of the baseball.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I'm just saying, but as of right now, I still take D. Gordon, but long-term, it could be
It would have been
way.
Ohtani. It would have been Ohtani.
We'll see. We'll see when we get there. We'll see when...
It would have been Ohtani.
We'll see in the 2023 episode.
Regardless, these two upstairs hate each other.
Yes.
And I hope it trickles... I'm going to say the word hope. I hope it trickles down onto the field. I hope they're 2 intense, lively, electric baseball games.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dipoto pops his head into the clubhouse before the first game. But hey, let's go beat these guys.
I'd like to beat these guys as many times as we can over the next, 19 or 21 times they play each other this year. So
yeah.
Cool. Now I'm excited for tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be... I'm excited, to watch some good baseball this weekend, live, tomorrow. I'm also excited to get me a James Paxton fanny pack.
Ah, boy.
So,
good pickup.
Yep.
Good pickup.
I think I'm going to end up getting the 2 best giveaways this year.
By the end of the year, if you keep finding the good ones, you'll be wearing a Ben Gamel... What is it? Is it hat hair? Hat?
Yeah, hair hat.
Hair hat. And the fanny pack and whatever else they're giving away. King's Court shirt you'll end up with.
I did it once, but then...
Never been a King's Court guy.
Well, once the cards go up, I can't see...
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
I'll go second level of extended court.
Yeah.
Front row.
Yeah.
that'd be the spot.
I was lucky enough that I was on the like towards the walkway, so I was the farthest back, and we got some people who are a little bit older who wanted to be in the King's Court that we were sitting behind, so they didn't throw up the cards every time.
There you go.
And we were kind of at an angle, so we could just see it. But anyways, I'm also like there's like a flannel night. Maybe I might want to find a way to get a Mariners flannel. And then Alyssa, my girlfriend, brought up, hey, I see some wine. There's a wine stopper night. So we might be going to Seattle Mariners Wine Stopper Night.
Every gimmick you can think of, they probably have it.
That blew my mind. I didn't think that was a thing, but I guess so.
Gotta have it. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Maybe we'll take 5 more days off.
Yeah, we'll
reconvene on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday, whatever we come up with.
Yeah, we gave you 2 weeks off. We gave you a couple back to back this week.
We felt that we owed it.
Yeah, we owed it, and some stuff happened. So unless anything else crazy happens this between now and next Friday or Wednesday, we'll see y'all then.
We definitely gotta hear your thoughts though in the comments. Let us know what you want to hear about on future episodes. Let us know your thoughts on this one, all about Ichiro and how the M's are using Felix and why you should use Edwin Diaz in every big time situation, because he is your bullpen ace. Let us know.
I don't know about that.
Let us know. All right, for Jackson Kahn, my name is Christian Bond. We are out of here. See ya.